Hello, everyone, and welcome to the movie show. I'm your host, Tyler Calkins, and today we're going to be doing a right out of the theater, non-spoiler review of Knives Out. And this is a film directed by Rian Johnson. It's his first film after The Last Jedi. It's kind of like a whodunit type of film, who's the murderer type of situation. And let me tell you, this is one of the best movies I have watched this year. It is phenomenal. Oh my goodness, the twists, the turns, the writing, the humor, the cast, the cinematography, the direction. I mean, okay, so I'm about to go on a tangent right here. So for starters, I was not a big fan of, let's say, The Last Jedi. Just didn't like it. It did not work for me. I mean, the first time I watched it out of the theater for The Last Jedi, it worked. And then every time I've watched The Simpsons, it's just become a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. And it really leaves me disappointed. And I had a bit of anger towards Rian Johnson. I felt like that was his fault, and it was his job to not let that happen, and it did with The Last Jedi. But oh my goodness, Rian Johnson, you have redeemed yourself with this film tenfold. It was phenomenal. I mean, the humor in it was just surprising, and it was fantastic, and it made you really... It was just funny. It was hysterical. So the humor in it was great. The cast was phenomenal. The acting in it was phenomenal. The writing in it was phenomenal. Daniel Craig is a scene stealer. His accent is fantastic. He's one of the best detectives ever. It's just great. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit because I'm just getting out of the theater and I'm excited. But Daniel Craig is a fantastic detective. I'm forgetting the name of his character. I'll have to Google it when I get home when I do my spoiler review. But man, the twists and turns in this movie were phenomenal. And Christopher Plummer's great. There's an actress in it, and I'm forgetting her name, and I feel terrible about it. She was in Blade Runner 2049, and she's the artificial intelligence that's dating the replicant that Ryan Gosling's character is playing. And she plays a pretty big character in this film, and it's fantastic. She is fantastic. Chris Evans is fantastic and witty and a dick, and the whole movie is just wonderful. Rian Johnson has turned it around for me, and I really feel like in coming out of this movie, I appreciate Rian Johnson as a filmmaker a lot more, and I also feel like he probably should not have been on Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and bringing all of this together and kind of, as a huge Star Wars fan and someone who's tried to understand why the franchise of Star Wars fell off so hard after The Force Awakens and kind of whose responsibility was that, and looking at it now, this is all on Kathleen Kennedy. Rian Johnson is an amazing filmmaker, and I understand to some extent maybe what she was trying to go for in his hiring. But let's be fully clear. Rian Johnson is not the filmmaker to steward or shepherd Star Wars. And she had to bring JJ back, and she's had to bring in Dave Filoni to do The Mandalorian, which is not that great so far to me. So this is on her. And I totally understand why people at Disney are ready to kind of dump her. Because at this point, this type of... You have a filmmaker like Rian Johnson, but he's just not going to make the type of Star Wars film that you need, because he made this film phenomenal. I mean, so many funny moments, so many shocking moments within the film, and it's dark, but it's humorous. There's some real life moments going on with this film that are just what you want out of movies. It seriously is one of my favorite movies of this year. I mean, if not my favorite, one of my favorites. And I really think, the Oscar community might sit back and might not be interested in a movie that's like a whodunit and a mystery, but I really hope they give this thing some awards consideration. I see it's getting all these amazing reviews, and you know what? It absolutely 100% should, because it is a phenomenal movie. There's not many movies anymore that are surprising, especially like a whodunit, a murder mystery, but this was just fantastic. I do absolutely suggest that you go see it in the theater. The cinematography is phenomenal. And Rian Johnson wrote and directed this film. He did an absolutely amazing job. Amazing job, Rian Johnson. He should be so proud of himself. Lionsgate, what I do find interesting is that I don't want to give away any spoilers, but there is almost absolutely no... What I found shocking was there is absolutely no holdover of Star Wars Last Jedi actors into this film. There is one. I'm not going to spoil it. I hope I didn't spoil anything by even saying that. There is one actor who comes across, and that's all I will say. But other than that, nobody else, and it's not a big role either. So what I find fascinating by that is I just found it shocking that Rian Johnson had decided to get an entirely new cast of characters for his film. And it just, again, I think it almost speaks to Rian Johnson made his own Star Wars film. And I understand why he did that, but in the lexicon of Star Wars and the importance of that franchise, you can't do with it and be cute and make it your thing. You have to bring elements of yourself into it, absolutely, but you can't just go on and make it entirely your own thing, because then you get a film like The Last Jedi, which is incredibly divisive. This film is not going to be divisive, or at least it shouldn't, because it's just a fantastic story with fantastic actors, with great writing, with wonderful direction. Rian Johnson, this is fantastic. What are your comments? Go ahead and comment down below. Don't spoil anything if you've seen the movie. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell all the way to the top. That way you don't miss any of my new content. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.